one thing that it's very, very difficult, but once you can do it, you can stop. It's to drop your mindset. All the structures that you have in your mind, and drop them. Whenever you think that everything is invented, whenever you think that there's nothing to do because if not, someone else would be doing it, that's bullshit. That's something that you are just telling to yourself as an excuse. And how I like to look at things is that when you see the universe of potential things that can be invented, if that could be limited into something like this, then there are just scattered points, which are the things that have been invented. All the rest of the space is to be filled with new ideas. And that's how I look at things. And once you start looking at the world through that vision, or through that new paradigm, then you see that you can actually recreate everything, and that everything is there to be invented, and in very simple ways.
Yeah, so the land of the opportunity, you know, it's so wide. It's so the amount of things you can do, it's almost infinite. So you shouldn't let anybody tell you that what you're thinking about, you know, it's not going to happen, or it's impossible, or it's a bad idea. You should listen to your intuition. You should listen to your guts. And at one point, you have to take a leap of faith. You have to have the courage to take a leap of faith, and knowing that the worst thing that will happen is that you will have a hell of an experience, and that you will learn a lot. So, you know, nothing bad could happen from taking a chance, living an adventure, you know, and following your dream.
And you can always treat yourself by saying, oh, I can always go back and do what I was doing before doing this, but that's also an excuse, because you can never go back.
I think I do it myself also. You said, okay, after I do this, I will follow my dream. After next year, next bonus, the next holidays, after my wife gave birth, or after my cat, whatever, I will do this. And that's just your mind playing tricks on you, you know? Because there's always a way you can make this work. There's always a way you can make, you know, save money and, you know, to have free time to do this, or do this beside your shop, or, you know, if you want to do this, you will find a way to do this. Just take a leap of faith.
Yeah, I actually was working at this company at the same time that I was doing investment banking, so I was practically not sleeping, you know. I'm working on this idea after I arrived at my house at 11 p.m. So if you have the urge to do something, you will always find a way.
In order for financing, you know, it's, you know, of course, be prepared, have as much information and accurate data as you can gather. Go to first your family and friends and angel investors at the beginning, and start building your project or your idea from there. In terms of cultural differences that we encounter here, we actually moved here because the culture of consumers and the culture of purchasing was actually the adequate for our product. So also I would recommend people to be open-minded on that. On, you know, if you have to move, if you have to do this for this project to work, then, you know, have an open mind about it, about where to start your project also.
Yeah, and it's also a good idea if you can have a goalkeeper, and it's great if he or she doesn't think like you do. That's our case. It might get you into a lot of fights, but in the end, the process might be painful, but the outcome is great, because it's the best of both worlds, you know.
Yes.
And someone there who will always ask the questions that you never thought that were questions. It's great. It's a very nurturing process.
Yeah.
So it's great if you can have a co-keeper.
Yes, the team.
It shouldn't be your wife if you don't want to, but it could be someone close to you.
Yeah, it could be a friend or a coworker or someone, but I think we're both agree that two brains think better and in different ways also, not just one.
And it's smart to look for someone who can complement you and not that thinks exactly like you, because in that if you will want to look for your mirror, then do it yourself.
Disruptive doesn't have to come from something that is complex. It actually comes from something that's simple. We relate a lot to that, and we actually think, like a lot of people tell us with Hickies that this is such a simple idea. How come, nobody's doing this? And why didn't I think about this? People sometimes get angry. Why didn't I think about this, It's just always try to make it simple. Simple ideas are the best ideas.
I wouldn't worry about the economy. I would worry if the people who I know are actually pursuing their dreams. And I think that's because if people around you or people anywhere are doing something that do not make them happy, they will be unhappy persons, full of anger, and throwing that anger to everyone around them, and that it's contagious. And at the same time, someone living their dreams, it's also contagious, as it's much more powerful than the negative part of that. So I think that's the best advice, or something that it would worry me. I would be something like that.
What it comes to my mind is, for example, Argentina is going through a very rough time now, and it appears to go towards a crisis, an economic crisis again. So what we learn as Argentinians living there, and from my father's experience, is that every crisis is actually an opportunity, and not in terms of getting advantage on people that are having a rough time, but in terms of that the extreme situations push you to have extreme ideas and to adapt, to survive. And that is very powerful in Argentina. There are a lot of creative and entrepreneur people doing amazing things. And one of the reasons is because we have to adapt every 8 years to a new economic situation. So I would mirror that into what's happening here in the US or in Europe, in the rest of the world. A lot of people are worried, for example, Spain, Greece, even the Americans. And I would just try to say that this is actually an opportunity. This is a moment of change. And you can be part of this change now. And you can be part of these people that, adapt and take advantage of this change, and they find an opportunity in what is happening, and then make it. So I would open my eyes and my ears to the opportunities that are going to come through this crisis.